morning. This morning I'm just walking down towards Barrow Mead from Rush Hill to meet some people who's given up their free time and putting something back into the community. So why not join me and take a look? Hi Matt, thanks for talking to us today, and tell me what's actually the plan here?
Well, I heard Adam Gretton from More Trees Baines talking about his idea for community nurseries, and I thought, well, look, that's something I can help with because I've got this little plot of land. So we went and we got a bit of funding, which paid for the fencing to go up, and then we stripped off some of the grass to create some beds and got started, and then most recently the Blooming Whiteway volunteers have joined in, and they're going to take over the day-to-day management of the site. And the idea is to produce free trees for More Trees Baines to plant, because they're a not-for-profit community company, to plant in the locality. So we're gathering seeds and from the local hedgerows, germinating those separately, and then we'll bring them down here at the end of the year to plant up, grow them on for a year, and then give More Trees Baines 2-year-old whips. Oh. So it's you get a little bit of funding to get started, to set it up, but the opportunity for volunteer hours is enormous, because once it's started, it's self-perpetuating. Yeah. And certainly having those volunteers to do the local picking and is great. And then the other thing we're asking for is for people in their gardens. If you're gardening and you find you've got saplings growing in your garden, native species, so hazel, or not so much ash unfortunately, but oaks, maples, that sort of thing. Yeah. Put them in a pot, grow them on, bring them down here in September. We'll have some open days, and we'll grow those on for them as well. So,
brilliant. So how do people get involved in that? Where do they actually get to?
If you can go, if you want to get involved, if you've got some time that you can offer, you can go and see More Trees Baines' website, which I think is just moretrees.earth, which is a great web address, moretrees.earth, or Blooming Whiteway, their website, and you can sign up at either end. Because I think one of the things is not everybody's, physically capable of heading out into the countryside and planting trees and all that digging and stuff. If you've just got a bit of garden and you're finding things in your garden, well, don't throw them away. Put them in a pot, and when there's an open day, come down here and you can feel that you're doing your bit too.
Super. Thanks, Matt, for taking the time out. And I know you're a busy chap, but good luck with this project. It looks excellent.
Thank you very much.
And I'm here with Claire Loader and Jude Royce, and they're going to explain to me what they're doing this morning.
Hi, okay, so we've got a community tree nursery here that's a 5 by 8 metres site that's been set up by More Trees Baines, which is a group established by Adam Gretton. And what they've done in the autumn of 2020 was put in this really kind of organised kind of fence and sort of to delineate a plot. So they've also put in 4 beds, and we're actually putting some more beds in today. So we're Blooming Whiteway, we're a gardening project that's based in Whiteway, and we're kind of collaborating with More Trees Baines to take on the day-to-day running of this site, so that we can free Adam up to set up more community tree nurseries.
Okay, Jude, how do you actually get people involved with this? So
we've only recently taken over sort of looking after this, but Adam's been working with the University of Bath Volunteer Society, so they're here today planting trees, but they'll be helping us build beds next weekend, weeding and sort of all the big stuff like that.
Okay, super. And what's the long-term goal for this project? What's the end result, so to speak? Yeah, the ambition.
Also to make sure that community projects or green spaces or schools or whoever needs small trees for hedgerows or projects can have trees that are actually grown locally, that are used to the soil and site-specific conditions, really, to make sure that they don't have to be shipped or you know, trucked from far away. So it's kind of thinking about the carbon footprint of all of the trees that are used in the city, really.
And Paul, if you look behind you, with Breach Wood, so we look out, the site looks out over Breach Wood, and we've got this amazing kind of resource of trees that we can propagate from. So we've collected acorns, we've collected seeds, we've collected you know, hawthorns, and so it's about using a really local and native source to propagate trees. So you can literally walk to where we're taking the seeds that we're going to propagate from, or take the cuttings from, or etc. So yeah, so that's the idea of a community tree nursery that happens in the community. It uses the resources from the community, and then the trees that we grow go out into the community. So,
okay, so do you look for volunteers, active volunteers, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to keep everything weeded and watered and looked after and checked, and there's a kind of, I guess, as the organisation, as the tree nursery idea grows across the city, hopefully members of the public will be bringing in saplings. They might have propagated some stuff themselves and need somewhere for them to go, or we might be able to give somebody maybe 6 trees for them to grow on that could go, or you know, even if they haven't got a place to plant them, they might be able to sort of foster them for a while. So there's kind of that exchange between trees that are being grown and trees that are going out to the community or being grown on. So even having a bit of space to grow a little tiny woodland on your patio and get those trees up in size so they're more resilient to go into the space is, yeah. I mean, the other thing is that we're just learning as we go. We know a certain amount about horticulture, but it's very much a kind of
so you do look for people who's got an interest and maybe a bit of knowledge as well in there.
Well, I think there's, you know, I mean, obviously that would be great, but also we're really open to people who don't know anything and are just really can teach us things, or we can teach them, or we can, it's kind of that shared thing. It's not a kind of hierarchical thing. It's about a kind of knowledge exchange. And with COVID and with the way that people have been, you know, responding to nature and outside spaces, then you kind of know that being in a green space, I mean, look at it today, it's just gorgeous,
superb,
isn't it? And just a few, you know, like an hour outside, and you know, we kind of come and do this work, and then we might walk around the woodland. There's a new woodland that was planted in the millennium just there, so it's just a great spot. You know.
So how do people get in touch? Where do they find you?
So More Trees Baines, at More Trees Baines is the kind of main overarching organisation that's setting these up. We are Blooming Whiteway, which is Blooming Whiteway, and we're on Instagram and Facebook. We've got a website and all of that. More Trees Baines the same. I think
on the Facebook page it's Barrow Mead Community Tree Nursery. So they can get in contact with us there as well, and we can, if anyone local that wants to get involved, we'd love to hear from people.
Okay.
And we're also starting, or at least Adam's starting to get inquiries from people who might have a little patch of land. Because you can see, I mean, just in, you know, we're hoping to accommodate maybe 500, probably more trees actually as we're going.
Wow.
But actually, you can do so much with a small space, so we are really kind of adaptable to sort of expanding how people can, you know, get involved in with just a small space.
Okay, well look, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for what you're doing, really, because it is something positive in the community, and I hope people will get in touch and see where you go, and hope to visit again soon and see it all growing and blooming.
That's cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, nice to meet you.
Brilliant in this superb weather. We got some guys, volunteers here from Bath Uni, and they're putting in some apple trees today. Fantastic stuff. Some of them were also cutting back hedgerows, which were encroaching onto the footpaths around the area. you know, superb to actually see people out not working but actually doing something after what we've been through for the last year or so, coming out and doing it and actually socializing together at the same time, but in a different way, and how they're working on the land and what they're putting back in, be it from a volunteering point of view or, you know, from their own business. But it's nice to know that there are people out there like this who want to put something back, and I'm sure you'll agree that this is you know, this is what we should be doing. And I think over the last 12 months it has learnt a lot of us to get out there more, to, you know, to appreciate what we've got out here and look after it more in the countryside. So anyway, thanks for watching.